living la vida loca, and then finding redemption through the power of self-awareness, a reconciliation with history, purposeful política, the discovery of first voice, our voice, and the search for common cause with others. Now, as you know, magical events like tonight's don't happen just because. It takes a lot of people with a lot of corazón to put something like this together. So please join me in acknowledging some of the important people that played a role in bringing us together for this sacred time that we share.
The word is most important. It represents authenticity, la verdad, truth. And so as an artist, and I was telling Maria Esther that I came from El Teatro del Barrio. So I learned my craft from the very people that lived and breathed with OT and his story.
Like everything we do is about community. I learned this from Eddie Olmos, is that the movies that we make are more than just movies. They're documents, they're things that change how people look at us. And that's what I'm always looking for. And that's why when I hear about people like Otilio and his book, I get really excited because it's such a great book. I read the first chapters, and as an actor, I have to get into the character. And that's a crazy dude right there. Man, he's had quite a life.
Even though the chistes are there and we're comics and that, it's very, very serious work, you guys. So your presence here tonight, the author's presence here tonight, this is a confluence of rivers. This is the Klamath River running into the Eel River. This is the American River smashing into the Sacramento River. This is the Kern River smashing into the Kings River. We know from that. And I like vampires and zombies because we know of the night. We're creatures of the night. That's where queer club kids learned how to cross La Brea in LA and dance with the white kids at the queer dance clubs. That's history. That's transgender importance. We were there. Border crosser, fence walker, domestic helper, graffiti artist, Chicana artist. When you meet illegal alien transgender kids in Nogales, it breaks your heart. When you meet kids on the res that want to write and be writers, I'll tell you, this book will mean more to them than anything.
After working for about 25 years in communities, juvenile detention centers, and prisons, I thought I had found my calling. That was my destiny. And that wasn't to be so. One day, I got a calling. I got a calling from the Creator, just like, and I'm putting myself in the same category, but just like Noah, Creator spoke to him from the heavens. Moses got his mission from his message from the burning bush. Mother Teresa in meditation and prayer. So I had my experience, and it was probably the most incredible experience in my life. It's kind of like being in the presence of El Chapo, And the Creator's there, or El Chapo's there, and he says, ¿Sabes qué? I want you to do me a favor. I mean, what are you going to say? No? So I said, of course. What is it? And he said, there's a message that we need to get out. As Danny said, a message of hope and faith. And I want you to get that message out. So I did something very crazy. After 25 years working for this organization, I quit. And it took me to this place called the Pigeon Point Lighthouse Hostel in Northern California on the coast. And it's in the middle of nowhere. There's nothing there. And it's a hostel. And so I started writing. And yes, it's a lighthouse. It's on a point, and probably the only thing that's around there are the pigeons. So, just to give you an idea, a very isolated place. And so I started writing. And about a week. And the thing about a hostel is you can only stay there 14 days. Then you have to leave. And I had no idea what was going to happen, but that's where the Creator sent me. And He says, this is where I want you to be. I didn't know why, but I would find out later. So I started writing. About a week later, the manager of the hostel comes to me and he goes, what are you doing? I see you here writing every day. And I said, yeah, I'm writing this book, this vessel about hope and faith. And so I read to him for about an hour. And afterwards, he stopped me and says, you know what? He goes, we need to get this message out. And he's the manager. He says, I want you to stay here, and you can stay here as long as you want. And every day I would pay my $40, to stay there every day. And he goes, and you don't have to pay. What I want you to do is finish the book. That's when I realized the Creator was moving, guiding everything. And so I started writing, and I realized that the Creator was using my coincidences in life, which I thought were coincidences, but no. It was His guidance and my experiences to talk about and share the message of hope and faith.